uncovered by Picus. Mumbai and Rio. Looks as if the ball is now firmly in the United Nations court. This is Eliza Kassan reporting to you live from Picus.
He's on the run!
Just minutes ago, Zhao Yunru, CEO of the Taiyong Medical Corporation, commented on the images.
I want the world to know that we at Taiyong Medical have not and never
Damn.
At all times. We invite critics and members of the UN to tour our facilities firsthand.
Anyone there? If anyone's here, come out now. I saw that. Give up.
Get back on the alarm! I saw that!
Cost letters posted.
Yep. Backstage area is completely blocked off.
Human evolution is a fantasy, but that is exactly what I am telling you. As a world...
Where's your sidekick, Taggart? 6 months ago, Seraph Industries was attacked by mercenaries whose objective was to cripple our research. But I've learned the attack was just a smokescreen. Megan Reed's team was kidnapped, and Isaiah Sandoval, your personal aide, was involved.
That is ridiculous. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for Mr. Jensen's intrusion, and I assure you that these accusations are without basis.
Are they?
This is Sandoval. Why are you calling me here?
There's been a change of plans. Seraph's team must not make it to the hearing.
But that's too soon. If you want me to remove the GPLs, I'll need a full operating suite. Does the facility have one?
That's your man, Taggart. Talking about removing implanted GPL devices so that the people who took Seraph scientists could cover it up.
I see what's going on here. Seraph Industries has received 2 black eyes in the last few days. The first, due to the shocking news coming out of Montreal that biotech companies are secretly participating in unethical super soldier experiments. And the second, as a result of their violent escalation of today's peaceful protest. David Seraph and his corporate bedfellows are desperate and in imminent danger of losing the regulation vote, so this man has been sent here to attack my reputation.
I'm right here, Taggart. Look at me. I admit, I wouldn't feel bad if your reputation was damaged in front of the press, since you've been doing the same to my colleagues for years. But that's not why I'm here. Seraph scientists are alive, and it's time for the truth to come out.
The truth, Mr. Jensen, is that this recording of yours proves nothing. It could have been made by anyone in the world with a grudge against Humanity Front, and you are our prime suspect.
You're right, it's not enough to get a conviction. But it's enough for a search warrant. It's all I want, Taggart. Why are you standing in the way?
I'm not. I'm trying to protect... Look, Mr. Jensen. I know why you came here instead of taking your recording to the police. I know the real reason for your accusations, and you're not entirely to blame for what you're doing. It is common, after trauma such as the one you suffered, to fixate on the event, to stay blocked in the past. In a word, you're obsessed.
The reason I'm obsessed with the past, Taggart, is that there are still 5 people missing, and their attackers haven't paid for what they did. Your refusal to help me is getting in the way of justice.
Now, really, are you in any position to see clearly enough to recognize justice? What do you expect to gain here today, Mr. Jensen? Were you hoping that confronting me publicly like this would somehow restore your sense of control and enable you to look at yourself in the mirror again?
You want to talk about control, Taggart? Let's talk about yours. It takes a lot of discipline to stand up in front of the press every time a pro-augmentation company or clinic is assaulted and then deny responsibility. How does it feel to know your people are so out of control they would resort to violence like that?
It tears me apart. But I cannot allow myself to feel guilty for the misguided actions of others. From the very day I founded Humanity Front, I made it clear that the group would be devoted to non-violent resistance. To deviate from this would mean dishonoring the memory of the very woman whose murder caused me to found the organization. Mr. Jensen, how can you possibly accuse me of doing otherwise?
I know about your wife's murder, Mr. Taggart, and how it led you to start Humanity Front. I've lost someone close to me too, but I have a chance to get her back. If Sandoval is involved in Megan's abduction in any way, he dishonored your wife's memory. For her sake, and for the sake of my people, I need to know where he is.
How dare you besmirch my beloved wife's honor to further your own ends? I have never been so despicably attacked in all my life. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize, but after Mr. Jensen's outrageous attack on me and my wife's memory, I need a few moments to collect myself. Mr. Jensen, be gone when I come back.
Watch it, sir. There are guards everywhere. Any attempt on Mr. Taggart will be met with deadly force.
Any idea how long before the speech is over?
Not too long now. I'll escort Taggart backstage and you make sure nobody tries to sneak in.
I'll take a walk and make sure everyone else is in position.
Huh? What's that?
Any idea what's... Huh? I got a man down here!
Subdue it! Shouldn't be here, sir.
Stop right there! Gotta trigger the alarm! Get out here!
First time. They will find nothing but order, trust, and moral responsibility.
This is Eliza Cassay, reporting to you live from Picus.
What are you doing here?
Jensen. Sarif had me hack the convention center security logs for you. Sandoval signed out. He isn't there.
Taggart will know where he went.
You really think he'll tell you in the middle of a riot? In front of all the media?
He will if I ask real nice.
Well, if that doesn't work, he also has a dressing room backstage. Seems to me a man like Taggart must keep close track of his employees. Speaking of which, I also backtraced that breach in our own firewall. The one Sarif opened but forgot to tell us about.
The one he was using right before he hired me. Right.
Looks like our boss was being chatty with a private detective named Brent Radford. He lives on Earl's Court. In case you want to get chatty with him, too.
don't have to get up and just because I don't agree with this.
Human evolution is a fantasy, but that is exactly what I am telling you. As a world...
Where's your sidekick, Taggart? 6 months ago, Seraph Industries was attacked by mercenaries whose objective was to cripple our research. But I've learned the attack was just a smokescreen. Megan Reed's team was kidnapped, and Isaiah Sandoval, your personal aide, was involved.
That is ridiculous. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for Mr. Jensen's intrusion, and I assure you that these accusations are without basis.
Are they?
This is Sandoval. Why are you calling me here?
There's been a change of plans. Seraph's team must not make it to the hearing.
But that's too soon. If you want me to remove the GPLs, I'll need a full operating suite. Does the facility have one?
That's your man, Taggart. Talking about removing implanted GPL devices so that the people who took Seraph scientists could cover it up.
I see what's going on here. Seraph Industries has received 2 black eyes in the last few days. The first, due to the shocking news coming out of Montreal that biotech companies are secretly participating in unethical super soldier experiments. And the second, as a result of their violent escalation of today's peaceful protest. David Seraph and his corporate bedfellows are desperate and in imminent danger of losing the regulation vote, so this man has been sent here to attack my reputation.
I'm right here, Taggart. Look at me. I admit, I wouldn't feel bad if your reputation was damaged in front of the press, since you've been doing the same to my colleagues for years. But that's not why I'm here. Seraph scientists are alive, and it's time for the truth to come out.
The truth, Mr. Jensen, is that this recording of yours proves nothing. It could have been made by anyone in the world with a grudge against Humanity Front, and you are our prime suspect.
You're right, it's not enough to get a conviction. But it's enough for a search warrant. It's all I want, Taggart. Why are you standing in the way?
I'm not. I'm trying to protect... Look, Mr. Jensen. If you play that recording for the police, at best, they'll dismiss it. At worst, they'll tell you to seek counseling. So, why are you really here? We all know you suffered a terrible tragedy in the attack on Seraph Industries. Why can't you put it behind you?
You're right. Picking up my life after that surgery was the hardest thing I've ever done. Hell, first time I saw myself in a mirror, I smashed the damn thing. But I've gotten past it, because I know that what I need to do to make things right is help the other victims of that attack.
If you can't help yourself, how do you expect to be able to help anyone else? I saw this posture of yours countless times in my private practice. You're lost. You have no direction, and you have no idea how to get it back. So, in your mind, you've made me the ultimate enemy, imagining that if you knock me down, you'll get control of your life again. You're fooling yourself.
I have an idea, Taggart. Why don't I give my recording to that reporter down there? He has a machine that can prove it's real right now, once and for all. Of course, when he says it's genuine, I guess it'll be top news story for the next few weeks, and you can kiss your vote goodbye. On the other hand, if you talk to me backstage, I can hold on to this recording, and you can keep the benefit of the doubt for a little while longer.
Very adroit, Mr. Jensen. Nicely played. I see you have me over a barrel. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize, but I'm going to have to beg your indulgence for a few moments more. If you will all please remain patient, I will return as soon as I can. Thank you. Mr. Jensen, I'll see you backstage. Mr. Jensen, I appreciate you allowing me to deal with this in a more discreet manner.
Save it, Taggart. You've wasted enough of my time as it is. Now, where's Sandoval?
He has an apartment he uses when in this city, on Grand River Road. He mentioned he was feeling very run down, so I can only assume he went there.
I see.
He's not an evil man, Mr. Jensen. If he's done what you say, it's only because of his brother, Ezekiel. A man you might know better as Zeke Sanders.
Sanders? The man who attacked Sarah's manufacturing plant?
I knew nothing about it until after it was over, and then I tried. I tried to convince Isaiah not to follow in his footsteps.
Good job.
Mr. Jensen, please. Isaiah has done so much for so many needy people, people suffering from implant rejection. Promise me you will deal with him fairly.
That all depends on Isaiah.
I understand, but please try.
This is Eliza Sam reporting to you live from Picus.
In our streets. Who do you think whipped up that frenzy? And I don't blame them. I blame people like Taggart. People who are constantly trying to divide us by our differences instead of uniting us by our similarities.
Bill is really changing the world for the better. We're changing it back to what it used to be.
This is important. Jensen? I almost didn't recognize you. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, what are the chances? Do you remember me? I was a rookie when you still rolled in SWAT.
Nikki. Of course I remember you. How you been? The brass got you on ride control too?
Yeah, I am. Or I was until... Damn it. Look, something big is going down, and I'm kind of freaking out here. You remember that MCBer, Jacob White? You busted him a couple of times.
Yeah, I remember him. Assault and possession. He's still running rackets?
No, I mean, yeah, shit, I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter, because he's moved on to bigger things.
Nikki, slow down.
Listen, hear me out. I just got word he has his hands on some real military-grade explosives. The prick's got a fucking bomb, Adam. And you know how much he hates the PD. He's going to hit us while we have our pants down with the riots. You gotta help us out here.
Nikki, I'm kind of busy. If he's got a bomb, just call it in and follow procedure.
What do you think I've been doing? I've been on the horn all night, and my CO already sent a patrol over to Jacob's house. We've got a warrant, so they searched the place, but nothing came up, not even Jacob. Now they're saying my CI is probably full of shit and just fucking with me. Bullshit! Jacob's using the riots as cover, and he's going to hit us, and hit us hard. Adam, I need you to trust me on this. You gotta help me find Jacob.
So why is it nobody trusts your source?
He used to run with White's old crew, but he's a 3-strike perp facing a dime on some damn parole violation. He's trying to cop a deal, so nobody trusts him. Thing is, I know he's reliable. He hasn't bullshitted me yet, and I don't think he's doing it now.
How did White even manage to get his hands on explosives?
My source says he got the bomb materials from some government stash out in Highland Park. It's all I know so far. But it all fits! He was last seen ranting at a rally about shattering the foundation of the hypocrisy or some bullshit like that. You know, quoting Che Guevara and talking about violent revolution.
Did he have the shirt, too?
What? Anyway, he practically named the date and time of this reckoning. And it's tonight. It has to be.
I have to admit, Nikki, I'm having a hard time believing White could come up with something like this. He can barely tie his own shoelaces without tripping all over himself.
That was then. This is now. After his last stint in Standish, he got bug-eyed crazy. Started talking about how the gang war in Derelict Row was all part of a government plot, and it's time he did something about it.
I remember him saying that augmented kid we took down last year was a cover-up.
Exactly! And he's been railing against Wayne Haas, the PD, and anyone else involved in that ever since. I'm telling you, Adam, he's been getting more and more violent. Now he's got explosives, and we've got a giant bullseye painted on our ass.
What is it exactly that you need me to do?
You mean you'll help me out? Really?
I didn't say that. Assuming I did agree to help, what would you need me to do exactly?
Oh. Well, based on Jacob's history and his new political agenda, I can almost guarantee he's going after cops. I've warned everyone working street detail and anyone else who'd listen to keep an eye out. But with half the force tied up with the protests and rioting, I can't get the manpower for a proper search. I need you to check a few spots my CI thinks Jacob could be at, and take care of the threat if you can. Even if you find nothing, great. It put my mind at ease, at least.
Fine, I'll help. Let's go over what we know. Just the facts.
What we know? Just the facts? What we know is he's certified batshit crazy, hates cops, quotes Che Guevara, and got his hands on military-grade explosives. What more do you need to know? Oh, Christ, man. I've got nobody to help me, and I can't even breathe. How am I supposed to find this guy? The bomb could be right under us, right now!
Nikki, you're a cop. Act like it. How are you gonna earn your stripes if you shit yourself under pressure like some wet behind the ears rookie at the academy?
Fuck. You're right. Damn it. I'm sorry. I lost my head. I'm still in the game, Adam. It won't happen again. You can trust me on this.
Just focus, okay? We know that White hates cops, so his first target is probably gonna be the precinct or somewhere nearby. Make sense?
Yeah, and he wouldn't risk hanging around the bank or transit station. They've got those security cameras with facial recognition software. And the precinct is shut down thanks to the internal affairs investigation. That leaves the precinct alleys and sewers as the most probable places to find White. I'm going to get on the horn and update my CO. Can you check those two locations? And Jensen, be careful. White may have left booby traps lying around. He's like that, now that I think about it.
No problem. Anything else you can give me?
I don't know. You remember what White looks like, right? Tall, Caucasian, skinhead? He's not the quietest guy, so you'll probably hear him before you see him.
Yeah, a real philosopher king. I remember.
Yeah, so if you just keep your eyes and ears open, I'm sure you'll find him. Also, I heard he's had some major augmentation work done. I'd be extra careful around him. I think the White we used to know has been replaced with something much worse.
Got it.
I know it's a long shot, but I'm hoping we get backup to expand the search. In the meantime, we can check those areas, and who knows, maybe we'll catch a break. Oh, and Jensen, please don't turn him into a martyr. I'd prefer him breathing.
Hello?
Jensen? Jensen?
Fine. Look, Nick, it's your rodeo. How do you want to play this?
How the fuck should I know? I'm gonna get people killed unless they figure out a way to find this asshole. I need help.
Just focus, okay?
I don't know. We'll have to check everywhere. The precinct is locked down, but that still leaves the transit station, the sewers, hell, even the alleys. Oh, Jesus Christ. What if he just wants to blow up the bank and rob it? Can you check those, Adam? I gotta stay here on the horn or the CO will have my ass.
Got it.
I know it's a long shot, but I'm hoping we get backup to expand the search.
tripped me from behind and stripped me of my purse.
Were there any witnesses?
Yeah, but they refused to stick around.
Sorry, but we've diverted all the